Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Let's Chat. And today we are talking with the lovely Shey Hennig. And Shey, welcome back to the program.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
It's been lots of fun so far, man. I'm telling you. Hey, I'll tell you a little bit about Shey. Shey has been in the financial service industry since 1996. She is currently a branch manager in her field. Although Shey studied voice and education in Brandon University, she's found her greatest passion in teaching financial literacy to single moms and the greatly underserved middle market family. Shey is a featured speaker with Dominion Voice, a Christian outreach, and she has also put together a teaching for church community entitled Entering the Promised Land. For the last 4 years, Shey has sat on the Women's Advisory Board for her company, and she is in the top 1% of all women in the company in North America. That is quite an accomplishment, my dear.
Thank you.
Shey has a heart for making her rags to riches story come to life for all those she meets. So, my dear.
Yes.
The conversation we're going to have today, and the question that I'm going to ask today is, how do I get better credit? Because for the longest time, I had no idea where to go to check my credit score. I had no idea what my credit was. You know, you'd go to get a loan for a car and you would sit on pins and needles thinking, like, oh my God, like what's on there? So I think knowing how to find our credit score and knowing what's on our credit is important to how I get better credit.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. And, it's a big one, right? A lot of people, you said it already, Brenda, don't even know what a credit score is, until you go to get that Leon's furniture or something, right? And, and then they say, I'm sorry, you can only have a footstool because your credit is really bad, so we have to, we really have to pay attention to that. And again, like you, I'm sure, I've learned this the hard way. My credit was bad, and because I didn't understand, and so then I had to learn about how to improve my credit score, once I was divorced and starting over and trying to get my feet back underneath me. And so one of the things I want to encourage everybody to do is there's a few reporting out there. I like Equifax.
Yeah.
You can go to Equifax. That seems to be the primary one that lenders will look at. Do you agree with that too, Brenda?
Well, there's Equifax and Credit Karma seem to be the two that are the ones that are reported the most often to.
Yeah.
So.
And so with Equifax, you can go online, and it's two ways. You can pay $19.99 or $20 and right away get a download of your credit score, or you can ask them to mail you out your credit score. That's free. And it takes a couple of weeks, but it's free. So it's not a big pressing thing. You don't really need it right now, so get it mailed out to you. I'm going to tell you a little story about why that's so important. We were even, as a professional in this field, I would go and check my credit score, and I'd think, why is my credit score not better? Why is it where it is? And I realized that they had a CIBC rate listing on there. I've never been with CIBC. And so I was trying to phone them, and they wouldn't help. I phoned CIBC a few times. They said, well, we can't help you. Finally got through, persistence, right, to somebody at CIBC. They sent me a note and they said, we are so sorry. That was not you and not supposed to be on there, and took it off. My credit score raised up so much by that, removing that. So you have got to be on top of things. It's your life, and mistakes are made. So I always say, get that Equifax report, go through it. If there's something on there that's been on there longer than 8 years, phone Equifax, ask them to remove it. Sometimes, it's a big old world, and things just get overlooked, right? So nobody's going to care about their finances like you, right? You're the one that, it's your money. You have to have the concern. The other thing I learned is one of the biggest reportings. People think credit cards, and all those things are important. You got to make your payments on time.
Yeah. One
thing that is reported and really affects our credit is our cell phone bill.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I didn't know that for the longest time, and if money was limited for me, I would pay my rent, my credit card, because I'm thinking, and my cell phone would sometimes get shelved, because I'm like, when I could. well, that was one mistake I made, because that reports, I mean, the day you don't pay it, right, when it's due,
Yeah.
it hits your credit right away. And so even that, when I've gone and applied for something over the years, they have even said that that is probably one of the biggest things that hit people's credit the bad way, you know, is cell phone. So put that on top of your payment list, and make sure you get that one paid, right? That's important.
No,
And stay on that. Get a report sent to you every year, you know. And I don't remember if you remember, but just not that long ago, there was a great big scam, fraudulent thing out with Equifax. Do you remember that? And people were getting reportings that weren't theirs, and they were taking people's information. And you gotta know, right? Yeah. Get a report sent to you. Go through it. Stay on top of your cell phone bill. The other thing too, if there's something on your credit score, and you know, maybe you had a loan you didn't pay, right? So it hit your credit score. Phone those creditors and make a deal with them. So we do that a lot with just sitting with people.
Yeah.
If somebody's got on their credit score, you know, $700 bill they didn't pay back when because they didn't have any money. So if you phone that creditor and say, I want to make an arrangement with you, I'm willing to pay you 40 cents on the dollar, you know, like make that arrangement. They'll take it. They'll take it, and then they'll put on your credit that you've made an arrangement with that creditor, and it'll significantly raise your score as well. So just some little tips.
Yeah. One of the things that a lot of people do not understand or do not know or forget about is, and I learned this the hard way, is whenever you buy a loan jointly, you know, if your spouse defaults, so you're getting a divorce. I'll tell you a story. I had my divorce, and my divorce was probably over for about 2 years. And we were going to go buy, Bud and I were going to go buy our first place. And we went into the bank, and knowing that I had paid off all of my debt, like I had no debt. And they said, well, we can't do this because you have this on your credit and that on your credit. I said, what are you talking about? Like, you know, so I had pulled the credit report, or they had pulled the credit report for me, and I had all of his debt on my credit report. And I had to pay off all of his debt that was listed in order to be able to get my mortgage. So, you know, you think that when you divorce that's it and everything else. Now, if they default on anything that you have your name on, you are legally responsible. And if you want to get that new home or whatever it is, you have to pay off that debt or get them to pay off the debt. But if they haven't paid off the debt, what's the likelihood of them going to look at you're the ex, and pay it off because they want to be nice? That doesn't really happen.
No. And if it does, I want to hear about it.
That's right. I never ever had that experience. Oh, yeah, you're my ex-wife. I'll pay off that bill that I racked up, and you know, now it's giving you that old heave-o, the one finger salute, and you are SOL paying off the debt. So yeah, make sure that you know what is on your credit. And if you are doing anything jointly, whether you're co-signing a loan for somebody, you have to know that that's going to go on your credit report. And if they miss one payment, that one payment gets dinged on you also. Yeah,
absolutely. It's true.
And I noticed TELUS, I'm not with Rogers, but I'm with TELUS. TELUS is the first one to nail you on your credit report.
First one.
It's the very first one. And I look at my credit report, and I have TELUS on there, and it has, you know, current, but it's still listed there.
Yeah.
I'm going like, you SOBs, like, you know,
it's a big one. I've seen people with great credit, but that has brought it down because they had no idea that these cell phone bills reported so quickly.
Yeah. And if TELUS is showing you a balance, but they're saying that you're current, you need to phone TELUS and say, get that fixed, because they're great at putting it on. They're not so great at taking it off.
Exactly. In this case, the squeaky wheel, right, gets the oil. And this is one of those areas where you have got to be on top of it.
Yeah, you got to really be diligent in that. It's like I'm going to go off on a tangent here. It's like your health. You know,
Yeah.
you have to be proactive in your health in today's world. And,
Yeah.
you know, I was supposed to go see a specialist for, I keep getting bloody noses. This is going to sound gross. But anyway, so for 2 years, she kept sending the note to a specialist for me to see. For 2 years, I've waited. Finally, I got mad and I phoned the specialist office. And they said, oh, well, you've been referred to somebody else because he doesn't do this anymore. So here's their number. So I was shipped to another specialist and I phoned their office and they said, oh yeah, you're in our queue. Says, I've been in your queue for 1.5 years. They got me an appointment within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you have to be your own advocate in your health and in your money.
Good point. Yeah, good
you
point.
know, because you can't rely on, your health is your health and your money is your money.
Yeah.
And you can't expect anybody else to look after you the way you can look after you. And that was a good point that you made earlier.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you very much, Shey. It's been an enlightening conversation. And yeah, I can see a bottle of wine in the future for us.
I think now probably 2 or 3. It's getting to that.
I think so. So if anybody has any questions for Shey, please put them in the comments below and we will get to all of your questions and we will do segments with Shey answering every one of those. And remember that this is a general knowledge. This is not to replace your financial advisor or whoever you're using right now. This is just to give you information that you can better control your finances in your life. Anyway, we will talk soon again, and I will see you next segment, Shey.
Thanks, Brenda.